Manuel Kranting has been interacting with some people there. Manuel, tell us, what are they telling you?
So, Gifty, I'm here at Madina, Libya quarters. I'm on one of the parks, where the youth here train and play football and so on and so forth. In fact, in my earlier interaction with some of the residents in the community, they tell me that, they have teething challenges, key of which would include the fact that all the street lights here do not work. There are certain homes here which do not have, toilet facilities and so on and so forth. But just to my right here, and I think that the cameraman can just pan for you to see, is the Madina AstroTurf, which was, commissioned by His Excellency the President about a year ago. It's here, and they give them access to, play there. But I've been able to catch up with a few of the youth here, and I'm going to speak to them, briefly about what their own experiences in the community are, and then again, what they would be expecting from a would-be government, essentially. So I'm grateful, guys, that you're joining me. I'm apologizing that I have to cut your training this afternoon. But, I mean, it's been 4 years of having a Zongo ministry and having a Zongo Development Fund and so on. They've tried to put up an AstroTurf here for you. Tell me, as a youth growing up in the community and so on and so forth, how do you feel with the level of development here?
Yeah, I'll rate it like, let me say 7 to 10, 7 over 10. And louder. What he told us,
louder.
Yeah, like the AstroTurf.
Louder.
They said it to be commissioned, like, I don't really know the date. Yeah, but like, it's not officially opened. Okay. That's what I know about.
But His Excellency the President came here. Remember that he came here, he played on the pitch and so on.
I wasn't there. I wasn't there.
You were not here. You were not here.
Yeah.
Great. I'll try to speak to a few more people, and I'll come to you because you are one of the senior folks who live in the community. Just get a bit closer to me so I can speak to you. Train on the park, don't you?
Yeah, I train on the park.
Great. Beside the park, really, what are some of the things that you, as a guy who's growing up in a community, what are some of the things that you experience?
To me, no, we need support. Serious, we need support. It's not like
a bit louder. Eh?
It's not like going to the park and playing low and go back to home. Now we need support. We need a lot of managers, a lot of develop for the area. As you can see around, we have a lot of players over here, but we don't have support. That's why we just need support.
When you say you need support, what do you mean? I can see the AstroTurf is there, and you've confirmed that you work on. You play on it. So that's not enough support.
Yo, that's not enough support. Serious, that's not enough support.
When you say support, what are you looking out for?
We have a lot of players. They play good. We need the government to just support us. To just support us. Yes.
Great. So he's telling me that he needs a government, in fact, himself and his colleagues, they need a government to, help them hone their talent. If it is what you're looking at, an academy in the Zongo community.
Yes, of course. So we also beg the government so that they can build a lot of AstroTurf park over here so that we will stop playing on this ground, because a lot of football players are getting injury on this ground. That's why we just.
But how accessible really is it? Because I'm seeing you train on the red park. You have an answer to that. How accessible is it?
You don't really get access to it. Yeah, you don't really get access to it because like we give it to some specific people to train on it, but like we the youth, we don't get access to it. Yeah.
Great. You live here too. Tell me, I see street lights all around here. They are supposed to be functioning, are they?
Some do function, but not all.
I cannot hear you.
Some do function, but not all.
They do function, but what do the authorities tell you?
And they tell us they'll come and fix it, but we don't see anything.
They tell you that they'll come and fix it, but you don't see anything. Great. So he's telling me that the street lights in the community do not function. Some of them, even though they function, some of them don't function. And the authorities say that they will fix them, even though they have not fixed them. My boss, you're here. You were telling me earlier about what happens here when it rains. Just recap for me.
For me, so many times when it rains here, I think the road is the main problem here. Because sometimes when it rains, a little bit of flood is on the road, so I think the major challenge is the road. For me, when it rains, the major challenge is the road.
So in the community, the roads are not, tarred and so on?
Yeah, no, the roads are not tarred. Because I think 2 days ago, it was graded, so that's what they've been doing so many years ago. Wow. Yeah, they've been grading it, but as for the tar, they don't do it.
So they just come and level up the road. They don't do any extensive work on it.
No. They just grade it and leave it there.
So you want the roads to be fixed?
Yeah, the road is the major problem here. If they can do the road for it, I think we'll be very grateful.
My boss, tell me about a bit of sanitation in the community. In fact, a lot of people have critiqued Zongo communities have been, dirty and so on and so forth. What is the state of sanitation in here?
Yeah, actually, for here, though the name is there as Zongo, but when you come to Madina here, there's nothing about maybe dirt or something. Over here, it is very clean. We don't have problem about that.
You don't have a problem. So all the houses here have toilet facilities and so on?
For that, I can't say per se, but most of the houses have toilet facilities.
Well, the NDC has mentioned, and this is to all of you, that the NDC has mentioned that if it wins power in 2020, it's going to give free access for the youth in the Zongo communities to TVET education. That's going to be free for all of you. When as a Zongo, resident and so on, my friend here was just telling us that he needs government to support. When you hear such a promise, how does it make you feel?
Oh, no. We just hope for the best that they should do that. But he was saying about support. It is true, because when this park wasn't constructed, you could see a lot of teams, different teams training at different side of the park. But since this park was being constructed, we don't have enough time. Maybe we will come here to train maybe about 31 hour or so. Before we realize the seniors will also come, we have to vacate the park for them. Have you seen? Yeah, so that is what it means about the support issue. Yeah.
You want to say something? Yeah?
To what he's saying, is leading some of our age mates to social vices, smoking, browsing, and other things. So we need more. We need more of that.
Because you don't have support, people are smoking and they're browsing. What do they do when they browse?
They get money, but since they stop playing, we don't get much access with the young ones. We don't get much access to the park. It's given to some specific people. That's why we stop playing. They stop wasting that.
Great. I want to ask, my friend is just joining us. I want to ask, do you feel, in fact, the NPP in a run-up to the 2016 election said that it was going to embark on massive developmental projects in the Zongo communities. A reason they dedicated an entire ministry to do the work in the Zongo communities. Do you feel that development?
Yes, I can say that I have feel it, because looking at what they did here, it will help us in a long way. Because we shouldn't just look at it like a short period, but looking at it in a long time, it will help us. Because in the Zongo community, we have talented people here who want to play football. And every day they have been coming here to do training. Just that sometimes they don't get access to the park, and that's a problem.
Do you think, and this is a question that I'm going to send to all of you, I want all of you to answer this for me. It may be a line or two. Do you feel that you've been taken for granted? Because every government that comes through, is loud on promising Zongo communities. We want to do this, we want to do that. Do you feel that you've been taken for granted? In just a sentence or two, tell me if you feel that.
Yeah, I would say yeah, for that one, yeah. Because most of the time when it's during election, before you see them coming into saying that they are going to support us, after the election, you won't see anything about that again. Yeah.
Well, he makes a point that after elections you don't see them again, and jokingly my friends say that after election there's no campaign. Do you feel taken for granted?
Yeah, for sure. Because every 4 years, I know election is being done every 4 years. Because when it's due to these election times, they come here, say a lot of things, giving us promises, but we don't see anything. So I think they've been taking us for granted, for sure.
They've been taking. So that's 2 out of the 6 people telling me that they've been taken up for granted. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, I feel the same. They take us for granted. They don't do the things they say they will do, like in the 4 years, getting to the election. But
they've done AstroTurf. They said they will do it. They've done it.
Yeah, but the roads. Okay. They've not done the roads. They've not tarred the road. They always level it, but they've not tarred it. So, I feel they are taking it for granted.
Okay, great. I'm rounding up with you both.
For me, I don't see any disappointment because they are working. We can see they are working. They are still working. So, we hope they improve.
You think it's a work in progress?
They are still working.
Great. My boss, do you feel taken for granted?
No, please. Because every government will do his part. Because looking at You see, every government with his time. So when your time comes and you are going, by all means, you will not do all the problems, but you will do some of them to help the Zongos. So I think we are on process.
You're on process?
Yes.
Great. Finally, you.
As my brother is telling that every government come, he will do his part before he go. When the government come, he do his part. The other government who will come, he have to continue. He don't have to leave it down and forget it. Now you have to continue. That's the whole.
So you don't feel taken for granted. So that's a 4 against 2. 4 of them feel that they've been taken for granted. 2 of them feel that it's a work in progress. And so this is a conversation that we've been having, Gifty, here at the Madina Libya quarters. I've been talking to a few of the residents in the Zongo community, giving me getting first-hand responses from them about the experiences in the community relative to the promises that politicians make to them ahead of elections. From here at Libya quarters in Madina, over to you, Gifty.